So guys, we got fantastic delivery news last week. From July 29th to August 4th, NIO delivered 5,800 vehicles, which was actually 400 vehicles more than the week prior. And there's some incredible things happening here in China. For example, the BBA trade-in, $0 trade-in, is getting a lot of steam. So it's going full speed ahead. It's being well received here in China. And in fact, very interestingly, out of 10 people that are looking at BMW cars or BBA cars, 40% of them are considering a NIO ET5 or ET5T. Very interesting, especially with the BMW exiting the price war, right? BMW, BBA, they've said they're going to exit the price war. They're not going to cut prices anymore. Their cars are going to be more expensive. Buy it now or else it's just going to be more expensive. So that has really caused a distaste for those BBA cars here in China. And a lot of these customers, and NIO, they haven't really done these kind of big incentive adjustments, even though they are sort of adjusting it, so to speak, reducing it to some extent, but it's not like a massive adjustment. If you do the math, the overall incentives are still about the same. So at the end of the day, they look at it, BMW is increasing prices, the prices are more expensive, people just buy a NIO. And what's really interesting is that ET5, ET5T, they're just well received, and the ladies really love the ET5, and the guys really love the ET5T. So that's something to keep in mind. And then the colors. Apparently, we got the gray color and the pink color being favorites. So out of 10 ET5 and ET5Ts, 7 of them will be about that color, the gray or the pink color. So those colors are very well received. And also, another reason that customers are buying NIO right now, apart from all that, is also because of the fact with the options and specs. So apparently with the BMW 5 Series, the i5, right, the i5 here in China, there's only one spec. Yeah, not too appealing. Whereas with NIO, you can customize the color, you can customize all sorts of things, and there's like over 10,000 customizations that you can do to the car, different configuration combos, and that has really attracted a lot of people that they can personalize the car to what they want. Now, guys, in terms of delivery speed, all right, we're seeing that it takes still about 2 to 3 weeks to get delivery of the car. If you just place an order right now, 2 to 3 weeks. If you buy an inventory car, it takes just 1 week. So that's pretty darn fast. And going forward, they're still expanding stores. They're building out more stores. They're building out more on-road stores. Growth is not stopping. All right, growth is not stopping. They're going full speed ahead. And I'm sure NIO's management, they know about the fact that it's not really a good idea to kill off momentum and say like, hey, we're going to remove the incentives and whatnot. It's better for them to sell more cars, and selling more cars will really help validate other people. Now, once they see that, hey, this car is selling really well, we should also buy this car. So in that aspect, NIO is actually quite successful in, taking away BBA's customers. About 70% of NIO owners are actually former BBA customers, and they've switched, and it's just a very natural switch for them. And what's even better is that we're seeing government policy being adjusted to support companies like NIO. In Shanghai, it's basically almost impossible. Like in Shanghai, let me give you an example. You got to pay like 10,000 plus extra, or maybe like 20,000, something around that ballpark, to get a gasoline license plate. So it's very expensive to get a gasoline license plate, very hard, difficult to do. Whereas for a EV plate, it's just very simple. It's very easy to do that. And then here in Beijing, you actually have this restriction where gas plates, you can only drive for certain days of the week. So 6 days out of 7 days in the week. you can drive. And then if you drive on the day that you're not allowed to drive, you actually get penalized, you get fined. So that's very inconvenient for a lot of people that have to use their car for daily commute. And also, like Shanghai, it's much more difficult to get a gas plate. It's like the chances of getting a gas plate is like 1% chance. And then the chances of getting an EV plate is around 7 to 9% chance. And the government is more willing to release more allocations for EV plates. And keep in mind, in these big cities, the amount of license plates are mostly capped. All right, they're mostly capped. They have a strict limit, so there isn't like an overabundance of cars on the road that just causes traffic jams everywhere. But it's mostly Beijing. Beijing is doing this cap to alleviate traffic jams. And we're seeing that in Shenzhen, they're potentially, well, the government said they're going to also change the rules to favor pure EVs more than these hybrid EREVs. And by the way, both in Shanghai and Beijing, EREVs and these hybrids, they fall under gasoline license plate rules. So they get the same restrictions, the same lower probability, etc. So in that sense, with the government shifting these rules, very soon we're going to see that it's much more difficult to get these gas cars or hybrids or EREVs. And very soon, even these hybrids EREVs, they're going to have to switch to pure EVs, pure electric vehicles. And NIO CEO has said in the past that when you have all these gas cars, right, they might switch directly to the EV cars, but most of them, they choose the transition product, which is the EREV or the hybrid. But then these guys, the EREV hybrids, they're going to eventually switch to something like a NIO, a pure electric car. And the fact of the matter is, here in China, Tesla, even though Tesla sells well, Tesla is like the new Toyota here in China. They're like Toyota Corolla almost. All right, so you can tell like Tesla, they sell tremendously well here in China. Every week, every month, Tesla's Model Y is like the #1 in terms of sales overall out of all vehicles. Okay, but so they are like the commoner vehicle. Everybody's like driving a Tesla Model Y. But the Tesla Model Y might not satisfy the status requirement or the luxuriousness or comfortness of a lot of these higher end buyers. So they end up eventually choosing a NIO. And then what you're seeing is that in the high end luxury market, all right, NIO has over 50% market share, right, over the high end luxury EV market. And this is going to continue. And even if you look at some of the other competitors, NIO is delivering more cars than Zeekr, they're delivering more cars than Xpeng, they're delivering more cars than all these other guys. So in terms of pure EV here in China, luxury EV, above 300,000 RMB, NIO is doing fantastic. NIO is doing really, really well. And going forward, if NIO doesn't do any of these incentive adjustments, like too much of these incentive adjustments, then we can expect sales to continue to be strong. It's picking up heat. That's nice. All right, keep the snowball rolling. Don't let us slow down. But also, let's see if Onvo has an impact on NIO very soon. In just 1 month, they're going to launch Onvo car, and then deliveries in September, late September. That's very nice. And then we'll have to see, like, do customers choose Onvo over NIO? And does the brand stickiness, like, are people more inclined to buy a NIO because of the brand, or will it buy Onvo for the product? That's something that's going to be very interesting. And there's conflicting opinions between Onvo sales reps and NIO sales reps, and also store managers. They're both worried about losing sales to the other guy, which is very, very interesting. But we'll have to see. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.